Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here in Liverpool, England, and today we're going to talk about are some things that tourists might do that are going to upset the locals here in Liverpool. And when we're travelers, we don't want to do those cultural faux pas that put us in a bad light or upset our friends that we make in places, because honestly, the people here in Liverpool, they're going to talk to you, they're going to be friendly, they're going to give you directions, they're going to let you know this or that, and probably give you a nickname as well, all right? And maybe it's big guy, maybe it's something a little more apropos for my tummy, but anyway. But the thing is, you don't want to upset people when you go places. So here are some things that I think tourists should know before they come so they don't, kind of insult their local friends. The first thing I got to warn you about, the first thing I got to tell you not to insult your friends is don't wear a Manchester United jersey when you come here. Because if you do, no one's going to like you. Look, here, you're either red or you're blue. If you're red, you're for Liverpool. If you're blue, you're from Everton. And that's it. And what's crazy is you have this big city that has two big soccer teams, big football teams, and they do have a rivalry, but it's not like we're against each other and we hate each other. It's more like we both play, we respect each other, but we both hate Manchester, okay? And you'll see that here. So comparing the city to Manchester just in general or talking about Manchester United in a positive light, it's not going to go over well with your friends here. And even if your friends from Liverpool do take the 50-minute train ride to get the airport from Manchester, they still don't like having to do that, but they'll still do it. So don't bring that part up. Now, another thing you'll hear when you go around England, people will tell you, if you're going to Liverpool, better watch your wallet, better watch out when you're there. And this is one of those things, I think there's a very big slight that a lot of England puts on Liverpool about how it's crime-ridden and you got to worry when you're there and, I don't know what's there. And I think some of this might be from a long-seated kind of resentment for some of the immigration that's come here. And so that's one of those things that over the years, it's like, your hubcaps are going to get gone and you're going to get your wallet stolen. So, be careful. Look, that stuff happens all over England, and just to let you know, Manchester actually has a higher crime rate than here in Liverpool, okay? So doing the jokes about, safety and stealing and stuff like that here at Liverpool, that's kind of one of those things that really hits the locals to the heart, and I think that's another reason why, just in general, don't badmouth Liverpool. I mean, that's kind of a thing everywhere in the world. You don't badmouth the city you're visiting, but here in Liverpool, they really do love their city, and it is gorgeous. When you walk around, the architecture here is incredible. The museums they have here, world class. And so they're very proud of this. And yes, their soccer teams, their football teams are actually pretty good too. And so when people kind of belittle their city or kind of put it down, they take it a little bit extra to heart here than other places. Because, you go to the U.S., people kind of like, you make fun of Chicago. You're like, yeah, you're right. We got our issues. Here, they just kind of take it a little bit more. So just be aware of that. Now, if the locals bring it up, then it's okay to kind of go along with, but you don't be the one to bring it up, okay? Any of those issues. Like when you look online for stuff about Liverpool, they always make the jokes about pajamas and curlers at the grocery store. I mean, I saw it so many times. I'm like, you gotta be kidding, man. And when you go around, you'll see people dressed in all kinds of different ways when you're here. And no, you're not going to see, actually I did see some of their pajamas, but I didn't see any curlers, but just know, some of those things, those stereotypes, in some places it just hits a little bit more close to home, so just be aware of that when you're here. Honestly, don't talk about the Sun newspaper. Don't bring the Sun newspaper when you're going to Liverpool. Don't talk about an article you read about it someplace else about the Sun. The Sun and Liverpool, that is not a thing you want to bring up, okay? And like any place, anywhere in the world that has a very distinct accent, the Scousers don't really like when you try to do a Scouse accent. And we go, Liverpudlian, they're called Scousers, okay? And so if you try to do their accent, the thing is, there's a lot of different accents that are here that I've heard when I've been walking around. And there's one that's kind of like they take all the THs and make it like a D. So you think that, and some people try to make that accent and kind of talk along with people. And just like when you go to Texas, you try to, y'all want a house, people don't appreciate that here either. So, don't upset your locals, just be normal. It'll be fine. And when you come to Liverpool, obviously you have to talk about the Fab Four. And you'll see the Beatles stuff all over the place. There's streets named after the Beatles. There's museums for the Beatles. There's tours for the Beatles. Heck, right over there, there's a statue of the Beatles, okay? So that's really a big thing. But the locals might get a little annoyed if you assume that they listen to the Beatles all the time and they love the Beatles all the time. Because think about it. Probably their entire lives, when they've been walking around town, there's some busker playing a Beatles song. And when they walk around downtown, the bars play Beatles songs to bring in the tourists. I have to imagine after, 50, 60 years of the Beatles, the locals appreciate them, glad they're here, glad they came from here, but they might not want to listen to it all the time. So if you're here visiting your Liverpool friends, do the Beatles stuff on your own, and don't take your Liverpool friends with you, your Liverpool puddling friends, your Scouser friends with you. So those are just some fun little things you might do as a tourist that might annoy the locals when you come here to Liverpool. But I'll be honest, you'll have a great time when you're here, and the people here have such a good sense of humor and a good way of kind of poking fun at themselves and at you when you're here that I think everything will be fine. But I just wanted you to know if there's some faux pas you might want to know about that might help out. And the thing is, there's also other faux pas just in general of coming to England you might want to know, but we have another video on that you can check out and learn more about the faux pas and things you might do to upset English in general, so you're better prepared when you come. So have a great time, and I'll say bye from here in Liverpool.